Have you heard? Have you heard about this Veo 3 hack? My name is Rosh, and I'm the co-host of the Creative AI Show, where we are two creative guys talking AI. And have you heard about the hack for Veo 3? Well, if I'm talking Veo 3, how come I'm in Photoshop, not in Flow or over on Gemini? And that's because you can use Photoshop or Canva or Photoshop Express or any type of image manipulation software to actually write on a photo for frame to video in Veo 3. So you can be very direct. Now, it might be tough to say, hey, have the pink ball turn purple in this photo right here. But if you say turn the pink ball purple, then make it float in the air again, and you point at it and you write right on the photo, that's more of a direct request. And sometimes you need to get granular like that. But is this hack good enough to do it in this photo? Let me show you some other examples first, and then we'll see if it's good enough to make this ball turn purple and float. My first test was with this bunny, where I asked the AI to make this door light flicker and have the bunny turn and pick up this mushroom. And I used Veo 3 Fast for this one, and all I said was follow the instructions, and the ended up right here. But hey, I always seem to end up with a error or two. I'm sure we'll find some more in these examples. But you know what? I like it when I make an error and it still interprets what I say. I always find that fascinating. The AIs have done a good job of that through the years. But anyway, follow the instructions on the first frame. And so what you'll want to do is go to frame to video and then upload or grab onto a specific image. So here we would grab the bunny and then we would say follow the instructions, which is right here on the frame, and see what happens. And here it is. And as you can see, the words were there, the arrows stayed, but we're not getting any flickering in the background. So maybe that was too granular or not specific enough. But the main thing, to pick up the mushroom, certainly worked out. And so I think that's impressive. Now, obviously, you're going to still have your instructions on the first frames, and it will gradually go away. So let's kind of see in some of these future videos if you can just say, hey, make it go away faster. So this one was very simple. I just said follow the instructions on the first frame, and I said she hands the tablet to the guy. And there's no arrow, but I do have a line to the tablet. And I guess this one could have been a prompt that worked out well on its own. I mean, maybe something more granular, like point over here and say, hey, turn this piece of the pie green or something like that, or yellow. But let's see how it did. And there she goes. And okay, so this would have been usable because she did pass the tablet over to the guy after, or at least he takes it after the instructions went away. So that's good. And this is something you'll need to think about in this process. So maybe you'll want to put instructions in a more obscure place, especially if you may want to edit or crop this image or clip. So you have things to think about if you're actually going to write on the image itself. Here's another one. The ship turns multicolor and the model turns and smiles. Let's see how this works out. All right, here we go. And the ship turns multicolor. It's like a rainbow going across, but she turns and she smiles. That works out pretty well. Now, here we are with the problem we were just talking about, that the instructions didn't go away fast enough. And so, again, you need to be thinking about placement in case you run into some issues. I don't know, maybe if we make these longer, or we could always extend the scene if need be. But so there's advantages and some disadvantages to this. Okay, well, I have a couple more, and of course we want to see if it can make that one bouncing ball, one of many pink bouncing balls, float in the air and turn purple, because that's where it could be extremely valuable. In this one, the pot begin. Oh well, there's a spelling error, but hey, let's see if the AI actually figures it out. What do I want? Obviously, I want a bunch of steam right here, and then the steak made of cheese when cut. So let's see if this works out and it follows instructions. Here we go, and look at the steam over there. Yeah, and the cheese steak. That looks interesting. But yeah, the steam is heavy here, and actually, I'll tell you, I originally said to the AI, make the pan go on fire. I wanted fire, and it actually flagged it for content it wouldn't create. So I don't know. I also found that in another version. Actually, I found that in the next one where it flagged it, and I'll tell you what I did in a moment. But I say this wins. I would like to see more cheese, but I think for the most part, and there is some morphing there, but we still find that in a number of these more complex, and cutting is certainly one of the more complex elements that we ask our AIs to do that it's still not perfect at. So here we are to the bouncing ball, and yeah, this one got flagged. I don't know why. I tried it a couple times, and then I cropped it just a little bit, which made it a different image, and when I cropped it just slightly, it was fine. So there's a little tip and another little hack, just in case you are having some issues with something that seems perfectly fine. Just crop it a little bit and it'll turn into a different image, and perhaps it'll let it through. Okay, so question is, turning this ball purple, then make it float in the air. Will it work? Let's take a look. And there we go. And there it is, purple. Look at that. So it took the ball that I selected and it did what I wanted to do. I wanted it to turn purple ahead of time, but these are things you can adjust within prompts. So you can get granular, and I think for the most part, that's when you're going to want this hack, when you really need to get granular about what exactly you want to have done within that video. Make something maybe in the background or a smaller part of the video move, or change a color, or something that a simple prompt would be tough to just instantly be easily rectifying the situation. I mean, having a model look to the left or right, well, that's easy enough within a prompt. But sometimes when you need to get granular, there is this hack with Veo 3. If you want to hear more about AI for the creative, check into the Creative AI Show on this YouTube channel every Monday, where we are two creative guys talking AI.